I'll be going through. Okay.
Okay, so now we have a recorded presentation from one of our interns who is now embarking on her own voyage to find fossils in like the Bering Sea, I think, or something really awesome. So this is her presentation on her experience doing data librarianship.
Hello, my name is Sarah Andreanoff, and I am an intern at ACEP this summer, and I was under Vanessa Raymond as a data librarian. Sadly, I couldn't be there to give this presentation in person, so I'm recording this video now. So as an intern this summer, I had 2 areas of work. The first one was my data librarianship work, which had me helping manage and maintain the ACEP data inventory. The second area of work was using my UAV pilot's license to help Cartorium fly drones in Galena. For my goals this summer, the first one was to help improve the data inventory, which at the beginning of the internship I was told that anything is better than how it used to be. And my second goal was to educate my peers and the researchers on better data practices. And third goal was to actually meet with those researchers and the other interns to add their existing data sets that they are working on into the data inventory. And the last goal was flying to Galena and helping Cartorium do a survey. Why are data librarians important to ACEP? Well, data librarians are a very important part of the scientific data lifecycle. So we take existing data sets and we add metadata to them, and we put that metadata into a data inventory to make it easier for other researchers to search for data that they need. For instance, if you're a researcher that's looking for power generation and load data from specific Alaskan communities, you can go to our data inventory and look for those tags and sort the data inventory by those tags, and it gives you a list of data sets that have power generation and load data, and you can also sort by Alaskan communities to find the data that you need. Reuse data saves a lot of time, effort, and money because you don't need to go out and spend a lot of time gathering the data that you need when you just use data that already exists. And at ACEP, there's a lot of unmanaged data that's just sitting usually in a Google Drive with no one knowing it exists aside from the researcher that made it. And this is because the data team at ACEP is relatively young. It's like it just turned a year old a few weeks ago. So we have a lot of work to catch up on. For my projects this summer, I mainly worked on the Airtable data inventory, and I met with researchers and interns to add their data to the inventory. And I also developed a form to let people submit their data sets online without having to talk with a data librarian. And extension of that is the Data Hackathon, which was a week-long event we held to meet with researchers and interns and input their data sets into the database. And we used this event to test the form and to test it against if it was better with just meeting with a data librarian to add your data to the data inventory. And we found that the form was not nearly as good as meeting with a data librarian. And in this data hackathon, we did use food to lure people in. At the end of it, we held a barbecue, which had lots of skewers and burgers, and that's why we got a lot of data. We got over 30 data sets added over the data hackathon, which I'd say is a lot of data sets to add. Another project I worked on this summer was the Data Detectives card game created by Adrian, and I helped him create it and test it by playing it with other interns. And my last project this summer was flying to Galena for a month and flying drones with Joseph Byam from the Anchorage Company Cartorium, and I also helped take a power pole inventory of over 600 power poles, which was a lot. And I also got to see how the Galena infrastructure works. I got to see the solar panels that are currently being set up right now, and there are some challenges this summer. So getting new data into the inventory takes a little bit and usually requires meeting with the researcher to get their data. And that meeting can take anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how much data there is. And another challenge is that there's not really a set standard for good data management standards. And so that made educating researchers about data practices, it made it a lot harder because there's a lot of debate over what those good standards are. So for some things I would do differently. I would better define what those good data practices are, and I would do that earlier. And I definitely wish I met with more researchers to add their data. I should have been knocking on people's doors asking for their data. And the main thing I'd do differently is to bring a lot more bug dope to Galena. The mosquitoes were ruthless. For conclusion, the data hackathon was a huge success, added a lot of data. I gained lots of experience with residential mapping with drones in Galena. I learned how important proper data governance is to any research organization. You really need someone to manage that for you if you want to reuse data over and over. The thing I enjoyed the least was definitely the mosquitoes. I came back from Galena with 20 bites on one hand. It made it hard to sleep. And my favorite thing was getting to see and talk to researchers about what they're actually working on and adding that to a data inventory. It was really fun. And I really enjoyed going to Galena and seeing all of their infrastructure, seeing their solar panels, seeing their generators. It was fun. And yeah, that's it.